Hey, thanks so much for checking out SproutMap.app. If this is your first time here, again, welcome. So super easy to get started. It's free. So go ahead and hit sign up on the top right here or start planning for free. You can use your Google account or you can sign in. If you're signing in for the first time using your email, you want to come up with a display name. This can be your username, your garden name, whatever you'd like it to be. I've already created an account for this, so I'm going to go ahead and continue here and sign in with Google. And then right here, when you log in, you're going to see some steps to get you started. It's going to help you personalize your planting schedule based on your location. So you're going to want to set your location based on your zip code or your address. If you know which zone, which hardiness zone you're in, you can go ahead and manually set that as well. If you know that you're at a higher elevation, that sometimes would change your zone. And you can also manually set your last frost and first frost. This system uses averages based on historical data over the past 8 to 9 years based on your location. So again, this will automatically choose your hardiness zone depending on your zip code. But if you're a little more experienced, you know exactly where you live and you know that you're outside of the normal hardiness zone, go ahead and set that up right here and then hit save location. And then once you're here, let's navigate around and check everything out. This is basically your dashboard. You're going to see some weather across the top, your last frost, your first frost, how long approximately your growing season is. We actually have some frost coming in Asheville in the next couple of days. This is just an alert. This doesn't mean not to plant. This doesn't mean you can't plant. It just lets you know that there is possible frost coming. So if you do have frost sensitive plants, you're going to want to hold off on planting those. Here's your garden plan. This is basically where you're going to add any plants that you're interested in planting to your gardens. This is where you would go in, click add plants, choose all the plants that you want to add to your list for now. You can sort it by peppers. You can sort it by plants that are started indoors. You can sort it by vegetables, herbs, or flowers, so on and so forth. So you simply just click here. You can add it just like that by clicking the plus sign. You can click it here. This tells you how many days to harvest. This tells you how much sun it needs, any plants that you should avoid planting it near. It also tells you about common pests and common diseases. It also tells you great companion plants. This is really cool, cool feature that you'll see more in detail when we start planning out your beds. Inventory. Inventory is for people that buy seeds on a regular basis. This is really like a library of everything in your house. Where you bought it from, how much you bought it for. You go in here, you pick the plant type, you pick the variety name, you pick the supplier. These are all the common seed suppliers. The date that you purchased it and the expiration date. Most seed packets have expiration dates on them. And then again, you can mark it as a favorite seed company as well, and you can add it to your inventory. That just lets you know what you have laying around the house, so you know what you need to buy. The calendar. This is going to tell you where you're at with all of the plants that you've chosen to add to your garden. This tells you basically the approximate time of the year that you need to start them indoors, approximately when you should transplant them, direct sow, harvest, etc. This is, again, just an overview. A really cool feature we're working on is we're going to be giving you the option to slide these so you can adjust it. Obviously, not everybody gets started on time. So we're going to be able to adjust those start times based on when you actually get started. The next feature here is your beds. So you're going to plant a new bed. You can go south side of the house. Again, south side of house. Give it a dimensions for your bed, 4x8. If you're obviously a commercial farm, it's going to be much larger. You got to pick if it's full sun, partial sun, or shade, because it identifies whether or not the plants that you pick to go in this garden are good for that type of sun. And then obviously any notes that you may have for that bed, then you go ahead and create the bed. Once the bed is created, you can go ahead and just start adding some of your seeds here. This pulls up all the seeds. Tells you if you're going to start them indoors, transplant them, or direct sow. And you're going to go ahead and add them to your bed. So again, you've got all your beds here. If you notice here, this tells me there's a companion warning. These two should not be planted together. Again, this is just a warning. Some people kind of like to march to the beat of their own plant, and you kind of do whatever you want. The journal. Clicking into the journal here, obviously, you can anything that you want to write about. Watering, if you notice that something's going wrong with your plant. Some people like to track every time they fertilize, if they use fertilizer, feeds, any kind of supplementation to the soil. And again, a lot of people love to journal and keep record of what they're doing to make sure that their plants are growing. If they did something right, they like to look back on that to be able to replicate that again. And then obviously any action taken, you can add the entry. And then last, but certainly not least, is our community. This is where you're going to get to share your plants, share your feedback on bugs. And I mean like the bugs on the website, not necessarily the bugs in your garden, but you can talk about that here as well. Tips and tricks, anything else. We've got people sharing new techniques. And that's about it. That's a quick overview just so you have an idea of what's inside. And again, the dashboard is really cool. It shows you all your beds. It shows you the weather. It does also show you your list of upcoming tasks based on the plants that you've chosen. You'll notice that all of these are sort of started late. That's okay. We can adjust that time. Like as I mentioned, you can also check off all of these tasks as well so that you know that you've done them. So as you're planting along, you can just check it off and you're good to go. Hope that helps. Thanks so much for checking us out, and we'll see you soon with a real video.